we have only one problem remaining. That is, we have group G. Okay, so yesterday when I look at the old list, group G had 4 people. Okay, and today you are only 3, as I can see here. So 1 people from group G is no longer participating in the class. Is it correct, group G? Group G, anybody from group G in here? All right, so nobody from group G in here yet. All right. So in our group, we have a rule. Okay, in our class we have a rule. We have no group of 6 people or more, and then no groups of 3 people or fewer. Okay. So here we have a group of 3 people, which is not the right configuration that we want. So I am gonna ask group G to find 1 person from another group, okay, from the groups of 5 people over here, to join group G, okay, so that we have the right number of people in the group. First of all, anyone from group G in here now? Thảo Trinh, Thanh Nhi, Kim Dung. All right, so none of you are here yet, okay. Does anyone from group A, group B, group C, group D, or group E volunteer to join group G so that we have 4 people instead of 3? Does anyone want? Okay, we'll get back to this later, okay, because I think only group G is not present here, so the conversation is not possible without their input. We'll get back to this after the lesson, and then we'll decide, okay? But my point is that we cannot have a group of 3 people, or we cannot have a group of 6 people or more, okay? So either someone volunteers to join group G, or I will have to choose someone to put into group G myself, okay? So think about it and maybe talk to the people in group G if you want to join them, okay? So that's the first thing. Okay, so today, so it looks like you have decided on the unit that you are teaching, so that's good, right? So we can get straight to the lesson planning part, okay? So, okay. The lesson today is we have the second lesson, which is like the first topic that we'll be discussing, and we'll talk about lesson planning. Okay, lesson planning. What does it mean, lesson planning? What does it mean, lesson planning? Does anyone know? What is lesson planning, or what is planning a lesson? Okay, when you say you plan a lesson, what do you mean? Okay.
So for me, lesson planning is when you design your lesson to teach your students. You will set up activities, or you set up like the contents for your lesson so that like you will serve a purpose. So that's
Okay.
lesson planning.
So you design lessons and you design activities to help your students learn and serve the
Yes.
purpose of the lesson. Okay. Why do we do that? Why?
To make the lesson more like to make knowledge like clear and easy to understand, as well as making it more you know so that the students have a guideline and a clear way to understand what they are studying, instead of just like listen and repeat only.
So to give the students a clear guidelines
Yes.
of what they're going to do. Okay. All right, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So today, the topic today we'll be talking about lesson planning, right? So you know what a lesson is, right? A lesson is what you get from your teacher, okay? Or if you are a teacher, a lesson is something that you use to teach your students, right? To work with your students. So what does it mean to plan? What does it mean to plan? Hmm? What does it mean to plan? When you say, I'm planning a party this weekend, okay? What does it mean? What do you mean? What does it mean? Okay, can anyone help me explain the word to plan? When I say, for example, I'm planning a party this weekend, what do I do? Group A, what do I do when I say I'm planning a party this weekend?
Yes, teacher. I think planning is mean that you have a proposal for something, such as you intend to do something, or you want to do something at the time.
Okay, so to plan means to put together a proposal for something.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now, the first rule of being a language teacher, right? You are going to be a language teacher. So the first rule, never explain a difficult word by a more difficult word. Okay. Here you have the word to plan, right? And you want to explain it, and then you're using a more difficult word to explain to plan, which is proposal, right? So proposal is a more difficult word. So if you do that, your students may not understand. Okay. But then I get the idea that you're saying to plan means to prepare to do something, right? Or to get yourself prepared to do something by thinking ahead, okay? Thinking ahead of what you want to do, right? That is plan. So for example, when I say I'm planning a party this weekend, it means I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking of who I want to invite to the party, okay? Thinking about when to begin the party, right? When to end the party, or where do I want to host the party, okay? And what activities we are going to do at the party, okay? What are we going to eat? What are we going to drink? What other activities are we doing, right? So when you do that, it means you are planning a party, okay? And the same happens for a lesson. When you plan a lesson, you're thinking ahead about what will happen in the lesson, right? What will you do in a lesson, right? When do you begin it? Who are your students, okay? What will you do in class, okay? How many activities are there? What will you do in each activity? What will your students do in each activity, and so on, right? So today we'll talk about all of those things. Before we do that, I want to begin with a brief discussion, okay? I'm putting in here 5 questions. Okay, so number 1, what is the lesson plan? We kind of just answered the question. Number 2, what do you plan when you plan a lesson? Number 3, why do you need one? Okay, number 4, how often do teachers plan their lessons? Okay, how often do you think teachers should plan the lesson? And then how much planning do you think is necessary and why? All right. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to discuss all of these questions with your friends in your group. Okay. And after 5 minutes, we're going to come back and then you will give me your answers in your group. All right. Okay. So 5 minutes go. Okay, let's answer the questions together, all right? Question 1 and 2. What is a lesson plan and what do you plan when you plan a lesson? Can anyone answer this question? Group B. Okay, what is a lesson plan? And when you plan a lesson, what do you do?
Hello, teacher. I
Mhm.
think a lesson plan is a written guide that outline what the teacher will teach, how the lesson will be taught, and what the student expected to learn by
Okay.
the end of the class.
Mhm.
And the question two, I think when I plan a lesson, I will think about the learning objectives, the student, what thing that student needs, and the student level,
Mhm.
um, and the lesson activities, uh,
Mhm.
uh, some teaching materials, the timing, and how to assess students' learning. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So you think about the objectives, the
Yeah,
students, the
yeah,
materials, and
yeah,
how to evaluate, how to assess. Okay.
yeah.
So what is objectives?
Objective is the I think objective is the thing that student can learn and can understand after the lesson.
So after the lesson, what they will learn after the lesson?
Um, I I think the
Mhm.
yeah,
So you think about objectives, okay? You
yeah,
think about
yeah,
students, you think
student,
about
student.
activities,
Mhm.
and the
Yeah,
materials and the evaluation and so on. Okay. All right,
yeah.
good. Thank you. Thank you, Nhi. Okay. We'll talk about that later. Number 3 and 4. Why do you need a lesson plan and how often do you think teachers plan their lesson? Uh, Group C.
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, thank you. Um, uh, answer for question, why do you need one?
Mhm.
I feel because it's very important for teacher for teaching, because sometimes without the plan, the teacher may be not very sure about the flow or structure time management.
Mhm.
Sometimes yeah, the teacher don't know. I mean, to manage the time exactly what how long I will teach this subject, and
Mhm.
at the same time, it's also keep the teacher focused on clear learning goals.
Okay.
Because sometimes if we don't have, so it will be go astray different, and it also increases teacher confidence and reduces classroom anxiety. If
Mhm.
me, like example like me, if I have clear plan, so I will be confident with what I will teach, and
Mhm.
well, yeah, so I know it's clearly. And
Okay.
beside that, it also have enhanced student engagement through well prepared or variety activities, because if I prepare the activity ahead, so I can enhance the student how is the rule of the activity, how is the rule of game, so they
Mhm.
can have more engagement in the lessons.
Okay.
And lastly, I think it's also provide a record of what has been taught for future reflection and adjustment. If something wrong
Okay.
with the plan, or if I need to adjust after my teaching, so I can adjust it after the lesson.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you have given us all the lessons, all the reasons why we would need a
Yeah.
lesson plan. Okay. You need it to build confidence. You need guidance. You need a clear path to help your students achieve their objectives. Okay. And also you need a record of what has been done in the classroom to help your future development. Very good. Thank you. Okay. And then the next question, how often do teachers plan their lessons? How often do you think teachers plan the lessons, and how often do you think teachers should plan the lesson? Group D.
Hello, teacher. So I will answer this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how often do teacher plan a lesson? I think every time they teach, but the depth will vary. For beginners and trainees, the plan should be detailed and for informal plans, like for PPGD2. And for experienced teachers, they may use brief notes or mental outlines, like door in, door out. For example, a Chinese will write a 3-page script, an expert teacher writes warm up, guess the celebrities, and the main activities will be find someone who. So I think that they should be, yeah.
So you think the answer depends on how experienced you are?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, all right, good. Right. Does anyone have a different idea?
May I have some?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How often do teachers plan their lessons? So I just think there are two ways of prepare the plans. One is I will prepare for the long term, and one is the short term. So the long term, sometimes in the beginning of the new year, so New Year school, so we try to plan for the long term. So I will make plan for look like 6 months or 1 year. So what I want to teach the student long time, how 3 months or 6 months or how many months is long term. So it's already something coming out, look like objective, what activities we want to have during the years. Every month, what we will want to have the assessment for student. That is the long-term plan.
Okay.
Besides that, we also want to make a short-term. Short-term is not only the management teacher, but the teacher. The teacher in the class will do it every day or weekly. Sometimes we make it the weekly, look like this week, I will teach the student this unit and how many lessons I want to divide in this week. And besides that, day by day, we also prepare for the lesson. So, I mean, that is a short term for the daily and weekly, and long term for the monthly or the year.
So how often should they plan the short-term one? Every day or every week?
Yes, short term like me, I do it every day. Yes, I do it every day. So before the class, I try to make it ahead before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So very interesting. We have two different ideas, right? One says that, depending on how experienced you are, you can, if you're pretty much inexperienced, right? You're new to the job, you should do it regularly. But if you have become experienced, you can just, like get the basic ideas instead of like having to plan all the time. And then, you have another set of ideas saying you need to have two types of plan. You have a long-term plan and a short-term plan. The long-term plan for the longer period, for example, a semester or a year, and then, short-term plan for, every day or every week. Very interesting. We'll get to it. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Very good. And then the last question, how much planning do you think is necessary and why? Okay, so kind of goes back to the lesson we had earlier. But how much do you think is necessary and why? I'm going to ask group E. What do you think? How much planning do you think is necessary and why? Group E.
Teachers, I think enough planning is necessary because its amount of the planning depends on the teacher experience and the lesson.
So it depends. Also depends on the lesson.
That's right. And like a teacher should know what to teach, how to teach, and how to check the student learning. Planning help the lesson run smoothly and easy for the student can understand. But
you said it depends on the teacher's experience and depends on lesson. So for example, if the teacher is not very experienced, how much should he plan? or when the teacher is very experienced, okay, has done the job for a long time, how much should he plan?
So if the teachers are not very experienced, so they should prepare a detailed lesson plan, like step by step. So they should plan the lesson objective first, and then they give the activity with more material and possible activity for them, like them can feel more confident and manage the life effectively.
And what about experienced teacher?
Like if the teachers have many times to stand in front of the children, they can feel confident to teach them. They know how to do it right away. If like me, if I don't have the experience, they say they not feel confident. They need to think first and prepare many things, like to the another activity. Which one is good for the student and is good for the teacher.
Okay, all right. So depends on the experience and the lesson, right? What about an easy lesson? What do you think?
It's easy lesson. If we have easy lesson, we need to do we need to put more effort for activities, like we can make the student enjoy that and have them like ask them need to focus on the lesson. I just think that's teaching.
What about a difficult lesson?
If the difficult lesson, I think the teacher needs to spend more time for this, because they need to first they need to understand about the lesson first, and they show that they understand about the lesson, and then they make the plan, like choose the way how to teach for the children can easy to get the lesson. And then just with the activities.
Okay, so easy lesson, you focus on getting the students interested in the lesson.
Yeah.
But then difficult lesson, you spend more time trying to understand the lesson and try to help your student also understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Group E. Okay, so we have this very interesting last question of how much planning do you think is necessary? Okay, and if you ask a lot of people, the answer is always, it depends, right? So not everybody have the same answer to this question. Some will say, oh, you should do a lot of planning because it helps, it is important, it gives you confidence and so on. But some people will say, okay, if you're experienced, you can just skip one or two parts, okay, just get the main ideas. If the lesson is easy, you don't need to plan a lot. But if the lesson is difficult, then that you need to put a lot of thought into it. Okay, so we have different answers for these questions. And the answer, if you look at the answer, it may fit well on what we call the planning continuum. Okay, so for the planning continuum, you go from no plan. Okay, so if you are a teacher, sometimes you will find yourself in this situation. You come to class and you have no idea of what you are going to do. You don't have a plan. Okay, you just come to class and you just look at your students, look at the ceiling, and begin teaching. Right? You have nothing, no preparation beforehand. Okay, and nothing in your head. Number two, you is a little bit better than no plan, but you also don't have a real plan. Okay, you just follow the book. If you have a book and the book is very good and you know what to do with the things in the book, you can just follow the book. Okay, so for example, I can just come to class, I open the book over here, I say open your book to page 50, for example. We are going to learn vocabulary, okay, and so on. So that's number two. Number three is what we call corridor plan. Okay, so what is a corridor plan, right? What is a corridor? What is a corridor? A corridor is a walkway, okay, that connects, the rooms in the building. So a corridor is, you know, like what you walk on your way to class, right? So before you come to class, you think of something. For example, on your way from home to school and from school to the classroom, you think of something you want to do with the students, okay? And then in class, you come to class, you implement it, okay? That's what we call a corridor plan. So a little bit better than follow the book. You have some idea, okay, but the ideas are not very well prepared, okay? It just happen in your head. Number 4 is what we call planning notes, okay? Planning notes means, you know, like the night before you teach, you put down some ideas about what you are going to teach, okay? And then the next morning when you come to class, you teach your students what you thought of the night before, right? So it is better than corridor plan, but still, okay, it's just like basic ideas. For example, some of you earlier tell me you will put in a warm-up, okay, guess the celebrity, and then number 2, have a listening activity. Number 3, have, you know, a discussion and so on, right? So that is planning notes. And then number 5, what happens with a lot of people, a lot of teachers, is that they need to have a formal plan. Okay, a formal plan is what you think about deeply, okay, and carefully, and then you put into words, okay, you put into a document, right? And the document will tell you who your students are, okay, how do they learn, what lesson are you teaching, okay, how much time do you have, what activities you want to do with them, and so on, right? So that's a formal plan. All right, so when you become a teacher, you will find yourself in this spectrum of experiences, okay? Maybe most of the time you will find yourself with number 5, okay? You need to have a formal plan because, you know, if you work in a public school or if you work in, you know, a well-known language center, they require a formal plan, okay? But sometimes, you know, maybe you got too busy, you don't have time to put in a formal plan. So the night before you come to class, you can put out, you know, some of just the notes, okay? And sometimes you are even more busy than that, right? You don't have time to even put in the notes. So you think of something on your way to class, right? And when you don't even have time to do that, you just follow the book, or sometimes you find yourself in no plan at all, okay? So these are the different scenarios, right? But for novice teachers, for you know, like teacher apprentices, formal plan is usually the best way for you to go, okay? Especially if you don't have a lot of knowledge about teaching, if it is your first time to the job, okay, and you don't know a lot of things about it, then the formal plan will be a good source of guidance for you, right? It helps you become more comfortable. You become more confident, okay, and it gives you clear guidance of what you need to do and what your students need to do. So in this course, we are going with the formal plan, okay? That is what we are going to do. All right, let's move on to the next activity. In this activity, yesterday, I asked you to prepare for this one, right? I asked you to look at one sample lesson plan in the resources that I give you, and then find one lesson plan that you find interesting, okay? And today we are going to talk about that one, okay? So I guess all of you have done this. If you have not done it, I'm gonna give you some time to do it now, right? If you have done it, I want you to share your lesson plan, the lesson plan that you found, with your friends in your groups, and then talk about it, okay? And then the group will decide which one is, you know, the best lesson plan, okay, to share with the class. So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to do this, okay? Discuss your lesson plans with your friends in your group, and then the group will choose one lesson plan that they like the best to share with the whole class, okay? And then you will answer the following questions, right? What elements does it have? So what does the lesson plan have? And how are the elements presented? Okay, so how are they presented? And then think about what else can you add to the lesson plan, okay? All right, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to do this, and after 10 minutes, we'll come back, and then you will share your answer with me. 10 minutes go. Okay, you will find a lesson plan in, okay, the resources for class 2, right? So you have sample lesson plans over here, and I give you the different resources. you will choose one lesson plan from each of the resources here and then share with the class.
Hi, teacher. Hi, teacher. I'm sorry I go late, so I don't hear anything in this class.
We are working on the sample lesson plan. So you work with your friends in your group. Okay, go to your group.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what's the group name. My group. I should know the name. My friend. I'm group. I'm Phạm Thị Vân Anh. So my group name. Some.
All right, you don't have a group yet?
Yeah, maybe I think my group is have member named Viễn. Our teacher can help me find this name. Viễn, dạ Nguyễn Minh Viễn, Hồ Yến Vân, dạ group F.
No, Vân Anh. If you are not here, I think you will join group G. Okay.
Join group G.
G, yes, you will be with group G.
But I had a problem with the group G before. So some member they don't like me, then they want I go to another group.
No, you have to join group G because group G has only 3 people, and in our class we need 4 people in a group. You talk to me later, okay? But now just work with group G.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher. So now you can help. Teacher can help me to join the group G, and you can tell them about the reason I have to join this group for me,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Okay. All right, so you have had 10 minutes to work on, like finding a sample lesson plan and share it with the class. All right, so now let's go over the lesson plans that you have chosen and see what they look like. Okay, so let's begin with group F. Okay, group F, can you tell me what lesson plan you've been looking at? Group F.
Hello, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have some technical problem. Can you call another group first? Then we would be the second group we share.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so while we are waiting for group F, does any group have an interesting lesson plan that you want to share with the whole class? Anyone? Group G, what lesson plan did you look at? Group G? Anyone from group G in our class, except for Vân Anh? Nobody. All right,
Sorry, teacher. I'm in group three. It's here. It's rainy.
it rains over there. Okay.
Yes,
So
sorry.
can you tell us what lesson plan you were looking at?
Yes. Miss Trinh and Thầy in here.
Now, did any group look at any of the lesson plan over here?
Hello, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm Theo from Group E.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to choose one lesson plan from the website you listed, I would choose the British Council teaching English lessons. I will choose the lesson is where do you shop?
Where do you shop?
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay. I need to have to give you the link.
Okay, you can give me the link in the chat.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right.
So, why I selected this? I selected the lesson plan because it's well organized, practical, and easy to use in the real classroom. I like that. I like that it's a student center and include verify of activities, so student can actively practice English through listening, speaking, and discussing. Anyway, in the lesson, I have a lot of material like lesson plans, student worksheet, presentation, and screen grip. Also audio file include in the website.
Okay.
And even more that the A and the level E from 13 to 17 as CEFR level A1 / A2. So I think suitable for me to teach in the class.
Okay.
And about the feature that this is a clear lesson objective, step-by-step lesson taste, integrated language skill, listening, speaking vocabulary, ready to use material, and pair and group activity to encourage communication.
Okay. So this lesson plan, according to you, it has all of the good resources and good information and how to use them. It tells you how to use them, right?
Yes.
It tells you about the students, okay, their age, their level, okay.
Yes.
It gives you the materials that you don't need to prepare yourself.
Yeah, right.
And it tells you like how to use what activities you are going to have and how to use the materials in each of the activity over here. Okay, good. All right, very good. So thank you, Group C, okay, for sharing.
Group E.
I'm sorry, Group E, okay.
Yeah, right.
Thank you,
Thank
Group
you.
E.
Thank you.
All right, does any other group have a lesson plan to share?
Teacher, I'm from group A, and can you help me to share the link? I have sent it on the chat.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, here we go. Group A, right? This one?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher. We chose this because it's an engaging and learn center lesson that combine English with science. It would content and language interactive learning. Our group thinks that this topic will be familiar and interested, and will be interesting to young learners, especially for children. It's made them to connect with the classroom and learning with the real world. And moreover, it will develop the foreign language skill. It will provide it will provide and students will practice speaking by displaying essays. And for example, they will write in some simple phrase, working collaboratively to create a classroom poster. This activity also encourage students will be more communicate, creative, and critical thinking and teamwork. Moreover, sorry, teacher. Moreover, it will include interactive games, flashcards, and hands-on activities that keeps students will motivated and active, and they will active in our class. It also provides many chances to to work with the digital tools and AI resources. So we chose this to support both language development and science-based inquiry.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Group A. Okay, so Group A show us a lesson plan that combines English and science. Okay, and you can see in lesson plan quite interesting activities, like you have an activity to describe an insect, or you have an activity to create a poster, okay, to give information about the insect. And then the student will have a lot of interactive activities that they work together, right? So this is a very interesting, another interesting lesson plan we see here. Very good. Thank you.
Yes, teacher, I'm Group G.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we choose ESL lesson plans for ESL kids.
ESL kids. Okay, let me see here. This one?
Yeah, yes, teacher. And yes, and we choose intro lesson ages 3 to 7. The first one. Yes. Yes, I think this lesson plan is suitable for young learner and children because it's very simple, interactive, and use songs and games. This makes children. This makes students be interesting. Yes, be interesting with lessons. So, however, I think it's not fully complete. I think it should include clearer objectives, timing, assessment methods, and support for different learners to make it more effective.
Yes. So you think the lesson plan here is interesting, but it's lacking the objectives?
Yes.
The timing?
Clearer objectives, timing, and assessment methods.
And assessment?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right, good. So tell me one thing that you liked about this lesson plan. What is the thing that you like the most about this lesson plan?
What I like most about this lesson plan is that it's very engaging and suitable for young learners. It uses songs, games, and moments, which are perfect for children ages.
Okay. All right. So it is suitable for young learners?
Fun. Yes, they are fun activities for young learners.
Okay. All right. So you can tell just by looking at the lesson plan here. Okay. The description is very detailed, and then the activities are especially geared towards like the young learners, right? Here you have students from age 3 to age 7, so it is in particular focused on young children. All right, very good. Group F, I see that you also share something from ESL Kids stuff.
Yes, teacher. Yes. So we chose that this lesson plan because it's relevant to the unit that we have chosen. So we can learn from it. And second thing, it has many fun, active games that keep students engaged. It's well organized. So for the question number 2, it's clearly structured into 3 main sections like background elements, procedure, and presentation style. We want to add something to make it better. We think that to make this plan better, we can add time allocation for each step, some interaction symbols, like teacher to class, student to student, pair work, or something like that, and anticipated problems and solutions. Yeah. So
all right, very good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Group F. All right. So we have looked at some of the sample lesson plans from the groups that have shown us, right? And you have talked about the elements of the lesson plan. So when you look across the lesson plans, you can see some elements are common. So for example, you have information about how long the lesson will be, what objectives there is or there are, what the structures that the student should know, okay, what vocabulary they should know, right? So the language that they need to accomplish, they need to master, and then the materials, okay, that are available, and then, the special notes about the lesson and so on. And then you have the procedure, okay? Every lesson plan that you have seen have a procedure, right? So that we tell you, when to begin, you do what, okay, in the first activity, in the second activity, and so on, all right? Okay, so now we have seen quite a few lesson plans. Let's go back to our lesson, okay, and talk about them, right? So you have shown us, like something from the British Council and something from the ESL stuff, right? So now, if we look back at the lesson plans that we have seen, okay, what information do we find, right? So you said, there's a first part that gives you the background information, right? So what do we find in the background information? Okay, what do you find in the lesson plan? What do you see here? Look at the lesson plan on the board, okay? What information do we have? The first information is
objective, topic.
Is the topic, okay? So the first information is, what the lesson is about, right? So the topic tells you what the lesson is about, right? What is the second? What is second? You see here, the aims, right? The aims or the goals or the objectives, okay? They are the same, right? So what you want your students to be able to do, okay? What you want to achieve with your students from the lesson, okay? So number 2, what you want to achieve from the lesson, that's the aim, okay? What about number 3?
For learners.
Yeah, okay. The age group and the level. This is not your age group or your level. It is the age group and level of the learners, right? So number 3, the lesson plan will tell you something about who your students are, okay? You have information about who the learners are, okay? So what the lesson is about, who the learners are, okay? What you want to do with them, what you want them to achieve. What else? You have time.
The time.
Okay, okay. So when will the lesson take place? How long will it be? Okay, sometimes you can find more information, right? So how long, okay, in what condition, where, and so on. Okay, what else? You have the materials, right? So it gives you information about, what you need to prepare, right? What materials and resources are available or you need to bring in, right? So basically, the first thing that you do when you plan, okay, before you plan a lesson, you need to think about all of this, right? You need to think about what the lesson is and what is it about, okay? You need to think about who the learners are, okay, and their characteristics. You need to think about what you want to achieve with your students, okay, with your learners, right? What will you get from the lesson, okay? And then, what materials are available, what conditions, okay? Is there, and also what assumptions do you have about the lesson? Okay, so these are the things that we need to think and answer before we plan the lesson. Okay, so the first thing that everybody should think about when you plan your lesson is to think about who your learners are. Okay, when you think about who your learners are, what do you think? Okay, you ask and you answer questions like how many of them are there? Okay, I'm teaching this lesson to my students. How many students do I have? How old are they? Okay, how do they like to learn? How do they not like to learn? What are they good at? What are they not good at? Okay, are they good at, speaking? Are they not good at writing? Okay, are they good at playing games? Are they not good at, like follow instructions and so on? And then in what conditions do they learn best? And And, you know, do you get along well with them, or do they get along well with you or with each other? Okay, so that's the first thing that you think about. When you think about your learners, you ask and you answer these questions. Okay. The second thing that you think about is the lesson. Okay, so you think about what lesson is it? Where is it in the curriculum? Okay, is it the first lesson in the unit? Is it the second lesson in the unit? Is it the last lesson in the unit? Okay, what are the main foci of the lesson? Okay, so what should you focus on when you teach? Okay, is it easy? Is it difficult? Okay, what do you need to know to teach? What do learners need to know to learn? What are the potential problems? What may go wrong in the lesson? Okay, and what do you expect them to achieve after the lesson? The goal or the objective that you set for your students, okay, in the lesson. So that's the second thing that you think about. The third thing that you think about is the conditions, okay? So when do you teach? Where do you teach? Okay, when is the lesson in the curriculum? Okay, when is the day and time? Okay, do you teach in the morning? Do you teach in the evening? Do you teach in the afternoon? Okay, is it the beginning of the school year? Is it, you know, the end of the school year, right? How long is the lesson? What are the conditions of the room? Okay, what materials and aids do you need? Would it be too hot? Would it be too cold? Will you be too tired or too hungry, and so on? Okay, so those are the conditions that you think about when you teach, because, you know, all of these factors may affect how you teach and how your students will learn. Okay, and then another thing that you think about is the assumptions. Okay, so what does it mean, assumption? What does assumption mean? What does assumption mean? Okay, does anyone know the meaning of the word assumption? It comes from the verb to assume. Okay, to assume, right? To assume means to think without evidence. Okay, to think without proof, without evidence. Okay, to presume. Okay, to assume means to think without evidence. So when you plan your lesson, okay, what do you think about the lesson? What do you think about the learners? What do you think about the conditions? Okay, without evidence of any of this, right? And what if, you know, what you think is wrong? What if your assumptions are wrong? Okay, what will happen? So for example, when I teach a lesson, I assume that you know about lesson planning. Okay, so in my class, I just go on. Today we talk about lesson planning, and then I go on. But maybe some of you don't know what lesson planning is. Okay, you have never planned a lesson before. You have never seen a lesson plan before, right? So if I assume that all of you know, okay, and then some of you don't know, that means my assumption is incorrect, okay? And what will happen if my assumptions are incorrect? Maybe I can ask you a question and you don't know how to answer. Maybe I continue talking about the plans, okay? And then you have no idea what I'm talking about, right? So when, you know, those things happen, okay, what will you do? If, you know, my assumptions about you are wrong, okay, what will I do? If your assumptions about your students are wrong, what will you do? Okay, for example, you're teaching a lesson, and then you assume that the students will like the lesson, they will enjoy the lesson, right? But something happened before class and they are down, okay, they do not enjoy the lesson, they don't like the topic, okay, they don't participate, right? So in those cases, what can we do about it? So the first thing that you do when you plan is to think about the lesson, about the learners, okay, about the conditions, and then about the assumptions, right? And then to put it into paper. Because if you are aware of the learners, of the lesson, of the conditions, and of the assumptions, then your lesson will have a better chance of being successful, okay? All right, now we move on to talk about the things that happen when we plan, okay? So look at the lesson plan over here. Okay, what do you see? What do we see? Look at the procedure. Okay, so this page is about procedure. What do we see here? Okay, the first thing we see is What is it? You have Latin for 10 minutes, and you have British vocabulary for 10 minutes. What are these? What are these? What do you call them? Yes, me too.
Yeah, teacher, I think this is the procedure of the lesson.
Yeah, the procedure, the sequence of activities, right? So each of these is an activity, right? So you see, when you look at this, you see, oh, I have a warm-up, a Latin activity for 10 minutes. I have, like I teach vocabulary for 10 minutes. The student discuss for 15 minutes, okay? There's a wrap-up for 5 minutes and so on, right? So the first thing you see is, like the shape of the lesson, okay? How many stages are there? How many activities are there? Okay, how are they put together? How long is each of the activity?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the shape and feel and the stages of the lesson. Okay, what else? You see each of the bullet over here, each of the bullet point over here. What does it tell you? Okay, show the 4 images. Tell the learner to choose a place. Okay, tell them to describe the place to the partners and so on. Right? You have
The instructions.
Yes, very good. The instructions, okay? It will tell you what you will do and what your students will do, okay? So the next thing you have, okay, the steps or the instructions for each of the activity, and also, the plan for grouping, okay? So it tells you whether you work with a group or you work with individual students or you work with pairs and so on, right? So those are the elements of a lesson plan. Okay, so when we put all of this together, you will have what we call a plan, okay, a lesson plan. And the plan will include the elements like, the aims, okay, what you want to achieve with your learners, the class profile, okay, who your learners are, okay, and their characteristics. You have the assumptions, okay, what you take for granted in your planning, okay, and what may happen, what may go wrong, okay. And then your personal developmental aims, right? So what can we do? What can we learn from the plan that we are doing? How can we develop our teaching skills, okay, from the lesson plan? And then you have information about the language that you are teaching, okay? What skills are you focused on? What aspects of the language are you focusing on, okay? A timetable fit, how does it fit in the timetable, okay? How long is lesson? How long is each of the activity, okay? And then the potential learner problems and possible solutions, what may go wrong, okay? And what can you do about it? And then the success indicators, okay? How can you tell whether your lesson is successful, whether your students understand the lesson, whether they can do what they want them to do, okay? So these are the elements of a plan. And next, after that, we go back to what some of you said at the beginning, okay? You said you have planning a sequence of lessons, okay? Meaning you have a long-term plan and a short-term plan, okay? At the beginning, one of you said, you have to keep 2 types of plans. One for the long term, okay? So there's a plan for what you want to do with your students, over the semester, okay? Or over the year, or over the years, okay? So if you will work with your students over a long time, you may have, like a set of plans that you want them to be able to do after they have learned with you, okay? So that's the long-term goal. And then you have the daily goals and the daily plans, okay? So what you want them to do every day with you, okay? And when you add all of the daily plans together, you have what we call, like a sequence of lessons. So when you plan a sequence of lessons, these are the things you need to pay attention to. You need to react to what happens, okay? So for example, today, you teach a new lesson and the students don't understand it, they don't participate, they don't do well, okay? So maybe the next day, you don't continue, you don't carry on with what you already planned, but also you spend some time try to review the lesson that you have today, okay? So that they will be able to make up for what they missed, okay, in the first place. And then you think about the long-term goals and the short-term goals, and whether the short-term goals and the long-term goals are in agreement with one another. Okay, so there's a rule. When you add many short-term goals together, you have a long-term goal, right? So always review the goals and see if they agree with one another. Then you have the thematic content, okay, how the lessons are connected, right? Are they the same topic? Are they different topic? Okay, what have they learned from the last lesson? And what will it do to this lesson, right? And then you have the language planning. You go from easy to difficult, right? So for example, at the beginning of the semester, they learn about the present simple. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, they learn about the present continuous, okay? After 2 or 3 weeks, they learn about the past simple, for example, right? But you don't begin with past simple and then go back to the present simple, no. So you have to have, like build the language as the student go. And then think about the activity balance. Okay, so what kind of activities you want your students to do? Okay, are they doing 5 listening lessons in a row, or are doing 3 reading lessons in a row? You want to span it out, right? So you have something like listening and reading and writing and speaking. Okay, you don't want to have everything in a row. Okay. All right, so this is what we know about teaching lesson planning, okay, which is an important part of teaching. The next part will be the practice, okay? So we have looked at the lesson plan. We have talked about what they are, okay? We know what elements that they have, okay? So the next part will be for you to work on your own lesson plan, right? And how are we doing this? First thing we do is that you will go back to classroom. Okay, go back to classroom and go to group portfolio project. Okay, I want you to read the guidelines to know what we are going to do. Okay, in the course. I think most of you have read the guidelines, right? Because it is important that we read it before we work on a lesson plan. But the guidelines will tell you what the unit plan is and then what the individual lesson plan is. Okay, so basically each of you will work with your group, okay, and each group will create one unit plan, okay, and the unit plan will cover the whole unit, okay, so there will be 5 lessons, right, in the unit, right? So you make a plan on how to teach each lesson of the unit, okay, and then you give information about the lesson, the learners, okay, the conditions, and so on, right? So the groups will work on the unit plan, and then each member of the group will work on the individual plan, okay? So each of you will choose one lesson, be it grammar, vocabulary, reading and writing, listening and speaking, or pronunciation, okay? Each of you will choose one lesson in a unit and then prepare a 60-minute lesson plan, okay? You will teach the lesson for 1 hour for 60 minutes, okay? And then, you also include all of the elements in here, right? So we have talked about the elements. You have looked at the sample lesson plans, right? Now it is time for you to make your own lesson plan by, okay, either follow the sample plans that I give you here. Okay, so for example, here I give you a sample plan, a sample unit plan, and then a sample lesson plan, individual. So either you can follow this guide, okay, this sample, and then make your own lesson plan, or you can follow one sample plan in here that you like and you find useful, right? So you don't have to follow my sample. You can also follow the sample from British Council, from ESL Kit Stuff, okay, from other sources that we have here. It's up to you, right? But basically what you will do is that each group will work on a unit plan, and then each person will work on your own lesson plan, okay? So this is what you will do. Okay, vâng, anh. I need your email address. Can you give me your email address? Vâng anh, are you here? I think her name was here earlier. Okay. Vâng Anh, if you are here, I want you to put your email address into Group G, okay? Basically, what we will do is, number one, I will add you to the folders that we have here, okay? So if you go to class 2, you go to group portfolios, you will see the group folders, okay? So group A, you will have access to your own folder here, okay? So I just give you access to group A. Group B, you will have access to your own folder, okay? Group C, same. Group D. Group E. Group F. And Group G. Okay, Group G, Vâng Anh. It's not here anymore. Okay, I will add Vâng Anh later, okay? But now, each of you will have access to your folder, so you can make changes in the folder, okay? So the people of Group A, you can go to your folder and you can create things in your folder, okay? The other groups, they can view Group A folder, but they cannot make changes to Group A folder. So only Group A, only the members of Group A can add things to their folder, okay? And the same for the other groups, right? So this is what I want you to do. You may create your own unit plan and your own lesson plan, or you can use the template that I have here, okay? So first of all, the groups, when you come here, open the unit plan template, okay? Open the unit plan template, right? And I have set the file so that you cannot edit the file as is, okay? What you will do is that you will make a copy, okay? You go to File, and then you make a copy, okay? And then you will name it group, okay? You will name it according to your group. For example, Group A, we'll name it Group A and then unit plan, okay? Group A unit plan, right? And you will put it in the folder for Group A, okay? So you will go to Group A, you put it here, you select it, so the plan will go into the folder of Group A, okay? And then you can begin, making changes for your unit plan, right? So the first thing you do is you open the unit plan template again. You make a copy, okay? You name it Group A unit plan, or Group B unit plan, or Group C unit plan, and so on. And then you put it in the folder for your group, okay? A or B or C or D and so on, okay? And then you click on make a copy, okay? And that will create a copy in your group folder, okay? The same for Group B, same for Group C, Group D, and so on, okay? Make a copy of the template and then put it in the folder for your group, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that each person in a group, okay, each person in a group will make a copy of the lesson plan template, okay? So the same thing, you open the template, you go to File, you go to Make a Copy, okay? You open the folder for your group, okay? So for example, if I'm in group A, and then you rename it according to the guidance here, right? So if you teach grammar, if you teach the first lesson, it's number 1. The second lesson is number 2. Okay, and then your name, and then okay, the name of the lesson. Okay, so if you have, for example, if I am teaching reading and writing, and I'm the first teacher to go, I can put in 1, okay, and then my name, and then reading and writing. Okay, so you can just rename it like this. Okay, number, your name, and then the name of the lesson. Okay, for example, I teach grammar, I put in grammar. Okay, and I click on make a copy. All right, so your job is to make a copy of the unit plan. Okay, make each group make a copy of unit plan. Each person will make a copy of the lesson plan. Okay, and then you will start working on the unit plan. Okay, you will start working on the unit plan. What will you work? Okay, you will work on describe the unit. Okay, so you will write something to describe the unit. You will describe the learners, write something to tell the people who your learners are. Okay, work on describe the goals. Okay, what you want to achieve with your students. Okay, no, maybe not the goals for now, maybe just the unit, the learners, and then the learning conditions. Okay, so 3 things: unit, learners, and then learning conditions. Okay, the goals, we can do it tomorrow, right? So work on this. Make a copy of the unit plan, okay, and then the group will discuss and give a description of the unit, of the learners, and of the learning conditions, right? If you want to look at a guide, okay, you can look at the sample plan in the group portfolio project, right? So you write something about the unit to tell people what it is, okay, about. You write something about the learners to tell people what they are about, okay? And then you have the learning conditions, okay? You also write something about the learning conditions, right? I don't have the learning conditions in here, but in the template, we have it, right? So unit, learners, and conditions. Is it clear? Is it clear, yes or no?
Yes, teacher. So
okay. And then Vân Anh,
yeah, I'm here.
Give me your email address, okay? Put your email address in here.
Okay, yeah. Vân Anh, you can write. Yeah,
Put it in.
Put it in, but I can't
Yeah.
see. I write in the comment, or I have to check my email to write about my email on it.
Put it in the chat. I can
Okay.
copy it in.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the groups will start working now on the unit plan, okay? And for the remainder of the time, you will work on the unit description, the learner description, and the learning conditions, okay? Tell me the information here. All right, begin working on your unit plan. Okay, make a copy first, right? And then begin working on it. Put it in your right folder, in your correct folder, okay? I see no group have put in the right folder. Make sure that you put the file. Okay, so group D already have, the unit plan. And then, very good, okay? So you know what to do. Group E, good. Group F, not there yet. Group G, not there yet. Okay, Vân Anh, I still haven't received your email address.
Sorry,
All right,
teacher. I try to find about a classroom and find this file to write it. But I can, teacher, you can help me to fill about my email. I send you on my chat for you.
I haven't seen it in chat.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I write right now. This is my email, teacher. Thank you so much.
Okay. And then I will also add you to the folder for your group. Okay, so begin working on your unit plan. Okay, I'm gonna give you let's say 20 minutes to work on it. Okay, and then after 20 minutes we'll come back and we'll see. Okay, all right, 20 minutes go.
Sorry, teacher. I'm Mỹ Triều from group F. My group still can't make a copy for the unit plan.
You cannot make a copy?
Yes, my member still.
Okay, just go to File, make a copy.
Yes.
Okay, and put it in your group folder. Okay, if you cannot put it in your group folder, maybe you are using the wrong email. Okay, maybe you are using a different account from the one that you gave me. So use the one that you gave me.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, teacher.
Excuse me, teacher. I can catch up with the idea after we have finished the unit plan. What's the next step we must do?
Okay, if you have done if you're done with the descriptions over here, after you have downloaded the plan, you can start working on the description of the unit, the description of the learners, and the learning conditions, and you put it in the unit plan. Is it clear? You wish?
Well, we don't need to do the unit map, right?
Not yet, not the unit map yet. Okay, just work on the unit plan, the description of the unit, the description of the learners, and then the learning conditions.
Then
if you have done that, okay, you can start working on the same thing for your individual lesson plan. Okay.
Then post all of these things in the folder group A, right?
Yeah, you put that also in your own group. Okay. So if you're group A, I don't see the plan, the unit plan for group A in here yet. Okay, so you should put the file in your folder. Group B has one, group C had one. Okay. So group A, you need to put your file, your unit plan in here. And if you're done with the description for the unit, you can start working on your individual lesson plan as well. Okay, describe the lesson that you are teaching, okay, the learners, and then the learning conditions.
All right, I see. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, Tín, you have a question?
Oh yes. Teacher, can I see again the model for the unit description, as I am a little confused doing it.
You
Yes.
can see here. Okay, you can go to classroom, and then you can see you should basically tell me what the unit is about. Okay, what lessons does it have?
Yes.
And what the student will learn.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay.
Thanks, teacher.
Good. Okay, so I can see that all of you understood the assignment, right? So you've been working on the description of the unit, the description of learners, the condition. Okay, some of you even went further and working on the goals and the assumptions. The goals, the objectives, the assumptions, we will do it in the next class. Okay, so you don't have to do it now. Just focus on working on, and talking about the unit and then the learners and then the conditions. Okay, so that's good. All right. So this will be your homework for today. Okay, so your homework for today will be for you to, sorry. Your homework for today will be for you to analyze the learners for your portfolio. Okay, so you will tell in your unit plan who your learners are. Okay, what they are like. What are their characteristics? How do they learn? Okay, and how do you plan to work with them? You will also tell in the portfolio the unit that you are teaching. Okay, what lesson do you have in the unit? Okay, what is the unit about? Okay, what does it require your student to do? Okay, what does it require them to know? Okay, and then you will analyze the conditions in which you will teach. Right. So for your unit plan and also for your individual lesson plans, I want you to tell me about the learners, the lesson, and then the conditions. Okay, and you will do it by asking and answering the questions that we had earlier. Okay, so you will ask and answer questions about the learners. Okay, ask and answer the questions over here. See what else can you think about for your learners, right? And then the lesson. Okay, also ask and answer the questions in here about lesson. See what else can you think about for your lesson. And then the conditions. Okay, what else can we add to what you already wrote about the lesson, about the learners, and about the learning conditions, right? So again, that will be your homework for today. Okay. Before we end the lesson today, any questions?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Kim Ngân.
We from group F, and then last time we had 4 members, but unluckily one member is on her maternity leave, so she told us she cannot join the offline class. So we think we need your help. Yes.
You can send me an email and I will respond to you via email.
Yeah.
Okay, so if any group has any problem with, like the members in the group, you can email me and I will work with you on email about it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, so if you have no questions, thank you very much, everybody. We can stop here today. And I'll see you again tomorrow. And then tomorrow we talk about classroom management and we'll continue to work on your lesson plan. Okay. Your lesson plan is something we work between now and then next Saturday for you to complete it before you present it to everybody. All right. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.